You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
So let me walk you through this situation that's been getting quite a bit of attention. It happened back in August at Champlain Park in Trois-Rivières. And honestly, the story is both shocking and frustrating. A man named David LeBlanc-Sirois was riding his electric scooter through the park when he suddenly hit a hole in the ground. A hole he says he didn't see at all. It was roughly the size of a manhole opening and about 4 inches deep. And that tiny gap in the path? It changed everything for him. Even though he was wearing a helmet, the impact threw him off balance, and he ended up suffering extremely serious injuries. We're talking about a double open fracture in his forearm and a broken wrist. A woman who happened to be there at the time described his arm as hanging like a rag doll, which paints a pretty alarming picture of the severity of the fall. He was rushed to the hospital and ended up staying there for 2 months. 2 months. All because of a hole that, according to him, shouldn't have been left exposed in the first place. What makes this story even more intense is what happened after the accident. The city placed a storm drain cover over that opening, but only once David had already been injured. He believes the spot should have been either secured or at least clearly identified beforehand to prevent something like this from happening. And honestly, it's easy to see why he feels that way after such a painful ordeal. Now here's where things get complicated. The city of Trois-Rivières says electric scooters are actually prohibited in parks, the same way other vehicles are. From their perspective, he wasn't supposed to be riding there at all. But David points out that there was no clear signage indicating that rule at the park entrance. No sign, no warning, nothing. He says that if the city expects people to follow the rule, they need to make sure the rule is visible. At this point, he's filed an official complaint and is seeking financial compensation for what he's been through. He's described himself as exasperated and says he wants the city to reopen discussions with him. If not, he's ready to consider legal action to get some form of justice for the injuries and the long recovery that followed. It's one of those situations where questions of responsibility, safety, and communication all collide, and the outcome could set a precedent for similar incidents in public spaces. Stay subscribed for more videos.